Hey folks, it's Dustin DePirac coming to you again from the media room in the Coliseo de San Juan in Puerto Rico. Um, in the exact same spot as yesterday. They're rolling in computers behind me for something, I'm not sure what. Uh, anyway, getting to basketball. Obviously, kind of a sobering, really a sobering loss for Indiana today, losing 71 to 67 to Boston. Hopefully, you can still hear me over that. Anyway, this was the sort of game that Indiana was not supposed to continue to lose. Obviously, playing an America East opponent, and this wasn't a Big Ten team. This wasn't playing Michigan State. This was Boston University, and I guess more or less this was not supposed to happen. But part of what Indiana found out is in a way they're not that far removed from being a good mid-major team. I mean, this was not a Boston team that looked overmatched. This was not a game that Indiana lost because they were like remarkably sloppy or anything. Um, only 11. Indiana had 12 turnovers in this one. They didn't look horrible. What did happen though is they get killed on the boards, out rebounded 52 to 32, and in part because Boston was at least physically equal to Indiana, if not superior, which obviously has got to be pretty troubling for Indiana fans. Boston also had 19 second chance points. It's a big reason why they were able to win this one. It probably should have been this close. Boston shot 17 for 58 from the field. That's 29.3%. That's pretty ugly. But they kept getting second chance points. They kept getting rebounds. 19 offensive boards. Just kept keeping it alive. And eventually they started hitting shots. Were 8 for 22 from three, 5 for 11 in the second half. They started to find some holes in Indiana's zone. Ran some ball screens that got them some open looks. Which allowed them to really get back into this one. I mean, Indiana had a lead for almost all the game, but it was always was never that far away. They were up by, I think, 9 was the highest it ever was. They were up by 8 at 7 at some points in the second half, but could really never run away and really put it away. Boston kept hitting big shot after big shot. Indiana answered. They didn't necessarily run away and hide, or just completely fold or anything like that. But Boston just kept hitting big shots, and at the end, took a 4-point lead. Indiana had 2 chances to tie with a three-pointer, couldn't get either one. Had some really big problems. Like on the last possession, Tom Crean said he tried to call a timeout. Was screaming at the refs. They said he couldn't hear him. He made a point about that in the post game. So Crean basically said this is further proof of just how far this program has to go, and just he said again, he says we're going to continue living what happened at this program and what we had to fix, and it's going to take a while. And that was kind of his point today, was going over and say, hey, look, this team is still young, it's still inexperienced. He says they're immature. He says they're not immature in terms of being silly kids, but they just don't know yet. They just don't understand the kind of toughness it takes to win any game against anybody in the Division I level. He stressed making that point that it takes that much. This is a Boston team that's pretty good. They're coming off a 17-13 season, got a lot of experience. I think their 6 leading scorers are back, something like that, and you could see it. I mean, it was a strong physical team, and they played Indiana tough, and they kept coming. As Tom Crean said, they played desperate. They really wanted to win this game. This was a team that came in here knowing that they were underdogs against everybody, and they're just hoping to steal one. Maybe that was they obviously were pretty jacked about just the idea of getting to play against teams in this level on a neutral court, and just wanted to get one, and that's what they got. This obviously puts Indiana in a tough position. They were figuring they could at least get one out of this trip to Puerto Rico, and this was the one you had to expect they get. Boston was one of only 3 non-BCS teams here. One of those is Dayton, who's a top 25 team. The other one is George Mason, who they play tomorrow, who obviously is a pretty established mid-major, having been to the Final Four a couple years ago, having been to a couple NCAA tournaments. They're one of the class programs of the CAA. I used to cover it, so I've seen these guys a few times, and they obviously played Villanova extremely close the other day. Almost had that game won until Isaiah Armwood out of Villanova hit a 3. I guess his first bucket of his collegiate career to beat them down the stretch there. So it's obviously not going to be easy for this team to get any wins out of this tournament. Obviously, like Crean said, they're going to keep fighting and keep trying to get something done, keep trying to accomplish, and keep getting closer to rebuilding this program. But like he said, this is just kind of further proof that just because they got a pretty decent, obviously a really good recruiting class, doesn't mean they're there yet. There's still a long ways to go before Indiana is Indiana again. And this was probably the biggest proof. Losing to a program like Boston is obviously a strong, again, mid-major program, but certainly not the level of a team that has 5 national championships and is one of the true bloods in this sport. So, again, like Crean said, they're going to get back at it tomorrow. Have practice pretty early, and they come back come back Sunday to play George Mason. And the same goes for me. I guess I'll be running around tomorrow trying to talk to some fans, find out how they're enjoying the experience down here, get an idea of what they think about this program as well. I guess there's a viewing party for the Old Oakland Bucket game down here tomorrow, I think somewhere on the strip. I don't know where exactly, but I'll be trying to find those guys, try to talk to Tom Crean some more, get some idea what his thoughts are on this game on Saturday. So I'm sure you'll see Chris and Hugh and everybody else down there tomorrow back at Old Memorial Stadium for the Bucket game. I hope you guys enjoy it, and be on the chat for that, and hopefully be on the chat to talk to me, I guess, again on Sunday. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it.